Now I know why you're here. You want to develop some ridiculous KO power. You want to be the next Ilia Topuria, the next Alex Pereira, the next Francis Ngannou. I get it. Those guys hit like fucking monster trucks. And you want some of that goodness too. So stick around, because I'm gonna give you all the information that you need to develop ridiculous punching power. If you don't know me, my name's Coach Andrew. I'm an award-winning UFC gym coach and amateur competitor, and I've been doing the research, getting to the bottom of it, so that you can develop some of that crazy punching power. I know you guys are looking on YouTube and seeing all these athletes doing these crazy movements with landmines and kettlebells and medicine balls and all that shit, and that stuff's good, but we gotta start from the bottom. So the first thing we need to do is we need to build a base of absolute strength, of maximal strength. Because what is power? Power is strength plus speed. So without strength, speed ain't gonna do shit. So what we need to do is we need to focus on the main compound movements. We're talking your bench press, your pull-ups, barbell or dumbbell rows. And anybody that knows how to throw a punch properly, you know that punching is not done through solely your arms. We need leg strength, because that is where the driving force, the kinetic chain starts. So we need to build strength in our legs and our hips. And to do that, we need squats, deadlifts, and lunges. So if you had only a certain amount of exercises to do over the course of a week, we can't follow a typical bodybuilder bro split kind of approach. We need full body goodness. So we need to hit kind of all the qualities that we need over the course of our training week. And as a training fighter, you don't really have a lot of time to spend 4 or 5 days in the gym doing all these exercises. So if we had to break down and pick only 5 movements to really focus on, we'll do bench press variation, whether traditional bench press or incline, both are great. A pull-up variation, so pull-ups or chin-ups, they're both good. Some kind of heavy row, barbell rows. I'm a big fan of single arm dumbbell rows. Those are very, very good. So those muscles in your back are just as important as your pushing muscle, right? The bench press is gonna help you develop that strength to throw punches forward in that motion with strength. But we need to train the muscles in our back as well to support everything, to create a well-rounded system. Because when you hit something, something needs to absorb the shock. We need retractable power. We need a guard. So training our back is equally as essential. And you'll find that when you train your back, your front gets stronger as a byproduct. They all kind of work together. And like I said, all that drive for our punches is coming up the kinetic chain from our legs. So we need strength in our legs. If we had to pick 2 exercises, squats and deadlifts. But I would argue that you could alternate your squat variations between bilateral squats, a basic back squat, but I would also throw in some split squat variations. We're talking like lunges, Bulgarian split squats. I know nobody loves those, but let me tell you, they are worth their weight in gold. They are the worst exercise to do, but they're a destroyer of worlds. And the type of deadlift you do is kind of up to you. Barbell deadlifts or trap bar deadlifts, they're both great. They're both working that hinge motion, which is kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to develop powerful hips, powerful hamstrings, powerful glutes, all that good stuff. A good example of why this is important is if you look at like a sprinter, sprinters don't have skinny legs. They have big, juicy legs. They got them quads, but they have big hamstrings. They have big glutes. So any kind of hip hinging movement where those are the predominant driving factor through your posterior chain, that's where that power is gonna start to be able to be generated. Now, all these exercises, because we're going for strength, we need to keep the reps low and we need to keep the weight high. We're talking anywhere from 3 to 8 reps. Ideally, depending on how experienced you are, if you are more experienced and you're familiar with some of these lifts, you could probably start at like 5 reps and slowly work your way down to 3, start doing 3 rep maxes. But if you're a little bit more unfamiliar, you could start at 8. Maybe you're doing a 4-week, 5-week block and you could start at 8 reps and slowly decrease the reps, but increase the weight. That's a really effective way to build strength. But once we have built that strength, we can start building power. We can start applying speed to these movements. We can start working with like Olympic lifts. We can start working with plyometrics. Plyometrics are a gold nugget. They're amazing. They're fantastic. They're phenomenal. You can start with like some plyometric push-ups. You could do clapping push-ups. You could do the push-ups where you jump onto plates, onto benches. This is where we start introducing box jumps or any kind of jumping, long jump, hopping variation. But some of the gold outside of plyometrics lies in the Olympic lifts. I'm talking barbell cleans. I'm talking barbell snatches, clean and jerks. That is where the money is. You whip that weight up here and then you throw it as fast as you can into the sky. You are developing some incredible athletic power. Look at Olympic lifters. Those dudes are crazy. The weights that they are lifting relative to their body weight it's mind-boggling. It's crazy. I remember once I saw this guy, I think his name's Hampton. He's an Olympic lifter. I saw him walk up to this barbell and there's a bunch of weights on there. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty impressive deadlift. And he cleaned it. He threw that weight into the sky and I was like, what the fuck is this? Another thing that I think is really, really great for combat athletes trying to develop some power is kettlebells. When you start moving into this field of developing power and applying speed to things, you can do single arm cleans, single arm snatches, dual arm snatches and cleans, all that good stuff, all that explosive stuff, push presses, all that stuff where you're like throwing the weight as fast as you can. Kettlebells are phenomenal for that. You can develop some crazy power with that. But that's the goal, right? So now we started building strength. Once we have the strength, we start applying speed, therefore developing power. It's not just about applying power through our legs, through our arms, through our upper body. One of the most valuable things you can train is explosive rotational power. Once again, doubling back to that kinetic chain, starts from the feet. If we're here, starts from the feet and it works its way up. We gotta rotate with that punch. We're not sitting here punching like this. We have to rotate. Those obliques really twisting and extending. Landmines are phenomenal for this. The amount of weight that you can apply to develop rotational strength and then speed, therefore power, is crazy. I'm actually also a big fan of cable machines. You can do like cable chops from multiple different angles. You can really apply it, like if you can go low to high chops to develop that uppercutting power. You could go horizontal chops for the hooks. Once again, kettlebells are great for this. Phil DeRue had a video, I think it was last week or the week before, and he was doing kettlebell rotation swings with these. And you can just develop this like consistently contracting, explosive, erratic movements. And I'm sure you've seen all the medicine balls. Grab the medicine ball, make sure you turn, and then throw it. And make sure you're getting that core just exploding as fast as you can. Developing rotational power is almost as valuable as plyometrics are. I'm telling you, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. We've developed strength, we've developed speed, therefore we've developed power. We've added to it by building a strong rotational base, but fights don't always end as quick as you would like. So we need to build an anaerobic base so that we can repeat bouts of explosive sprintability. This is where we start applying interval training. We need to train our body to operate in high intensity heart rate zones and then the ability to recover from intense bouts of high cardiac output. Because no matter what you do, unless you're like Marab Dvalishvili, you're generally gonna encounter some level of fatigue in your fight. Unless the fight ends in like the first round, in the first minute, right? It doesn't always happen that way. We all know that. You're gonna get tired. It's just a fact, right? So we not only need to develop the ability to operate optimally under levels of fatigue with high levels of lactic acid in our system, we need to develop the ability to recover from those intense bouts so that when we're tired and when they're tired, we recover faster and we can hit harder and faster first. This is where you would start doing like bouts of like red zone training. You could do a circuit, right? You could do medicine ball slams for like 10 seconds, then rest for 50. And then jump on the assault bike and pump that out for 10 seconds as fast as you can and then rest for 50. Or things like that. The specific exercise doesn't matter too much. It's all about pushing yourself to the red heart rate zone, operating while we're in there, and then coming back down and then coming back up. This is where something like Tabata, if applied correctly, could really pay dividends. You do like 20 seconds of maximal effort, 10 seconds of rest. You repeat that for X amount of rounds, have like a 2, 3 minute, 5 minute rest in between and do bouts of that. That's really gonna teach your body to operate and recover from high levels of intensity. So there you have it, guys. Those are the main concepts that you can use to build devastating KO power in your punches. Build strength, build speed, rotational power, and the ability to apply repeated outputs of high intensities. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe for more goodness. I am going to deliver you some more of these nuggets every week or die trying. It'll just be videos. I don't want to die. So give that a shot. Let me know the type of training that you're doing down in the comments and enjoy the punch and gains, baby.